Order. Monday, June 13th, 2022, the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District, 2105 Northeast Jefferson Avenue, Peoria, Illinois. Roll call.
All right, trustee Ahart,
Present.
trustee Sterling Polk,
Present.
trustee Hare,
Present.
trustee McBride,
Present.
trustee Knox.
Present.
Report, sir.
Everybody stand for the pledge, please. Led by Nick. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone's had a chance to review and read the minutes from the May 2nd meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Reading of communications.
We have none tonight, sir.
Report of officers. Going once, twice, gone. Standing committee. Patty?
I would like to defer my time for ADA/WOW event to Emily Desiree.
Okay.
Whichever one wants to be approved.
One of you like to speak
Go ahead,
on?
Em. Okay. We are excited that we're going to be hosting the WOW ADA Celebration and Resource Fair on July 26th from 5 to 7 at the Peoria Civic Center. We're getting the ball rolling now to get that event going. Desiree has sent out a lot of invitations to some various organizations and businesses that cater to ADA individuals. And so we have a deadline of this Wednesday for them to turn in their paperwork to participate in that event. So we're hoping that most of them get their paperwork in here in the next couple of days. And yeah, we're just really excited about this event. We think it's going to be something that is going to provide information for people of all ages that are ADA, and that is something that we don't really see that much in the Peoria community. So we think it's going to be a great event. And Desiree may be able to speak a little bit more on some of the vendors that we've reached out to.
I just want to add that we've got some diverse groups that have committed, and that's a good thing. And we've committed to the Civic Center. We have our room, so we're just moving on down. It's getting it done.
I just want to say that I have had tremendous support from everybody here, but especially from Doug, Desiree, and Emily on pulling all this together. And this is going to be the giveaway that we're going to be giving away at our table. They're just too cute. So with that, we're done.
Any questions for Emily, Desiree, or Patty? Hearing none, moving on. Report of the general manager.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of things. Got more than a couple tonight for you. So one of the big things, they approved our, well, Transnet had some issues with their service, and most of it was before most of you got on the board. It's been a couple years in the making. We finally got a letter from the Illinois Guardianship and Advocacy Committee the end of May that said that they were okay with everything that they had done to the corrective actions and measures that they had taken. So as long as they stay with that, we'll be okay. I have the full report if somebody wants to look at it. Other than that, this will call it a closed matter. Angel did do a lot of the response for them, and so I was glad to see that. I just got off a call with the Bus Coalition, and it was interesting. They were talking about the what's been happening with other these transit systems with ridership, and a lot of them haven't seen the bounce back yet. They're still at 50% of their levels. Our ridership is starting to come back up. One of the news agencies wanted to do a story this last week on whether how gas prices were affecting transit, and I told Emily, I said, it's too soon. I said, we had route changes, COVID may be over, gas prices may have some influence on our ridership, but I don't think it'll be until later this fall, early winter, depending on if the prices continue to stay where they're at or rise. It's going to take that for people to make cultural changes to get out of their car. I think it's too soon, but our ridership has bounced back. I think it's because of the route changes we made. I think that's had a lot to do with it. We're almost back to pre-COVID levels. So now we need to get back to a couple of years ago levels. So that's our next goal. But we did make some more changes, minor changes. They had a new bid go out and started last week. It caused a little confusion in the riders, but it only lasted for a day or two. So lesson learned there. We need to do a little better job of advertising, even if they are minor changes in the routes and schedules. So, some things I included in your package for tonight were some last minute things I was working on. I apologize I didn't get them to you sooner. But the tentative board retreat agenda day is going to be August 16th. We still don't have a time yet. But basically what I've done is taking all the issues that you had, I've condensed them into about 4 items. The strategic plan will take a lot of the items that we were working on, and I should have that part revised probably later this week. And so I'll get that out to you. And then also David Lee, he wanted to look at it along with the Tri-County strategic plan that they've got. They've got like a 25-year plan, and he wanted to see how we were fitting into that. And so those will both be going out by the end of the week. And then Mr. Lee thought that part of some of these items probably could be done at a board meeting. And so that's why I moved some of those to future board meetings. The purchasing threshold bylaws, updated organizational chart, and then the transit terminology and acronyms. So those will probably be coming out next week or next meeting, the acronyms. I did, oops, oh well. I did put in the bylaws in this packet so that you could have a chance to look it over and mark it up. I think actually Sharon is the head of that committee. So if we have to have a meeting before the next board meeting, if there's a lot of issues with the bylaws, we will take that under advisement, set up a meeting, and then we'll bring it back to the next board meeting for review. If we get into a lot of issues that need more discussion, then we can certainly put it on the retreat. But at this time, we'll probably just try and tackle it at a regular board meeting or before. One of the other things I wanted for consideration was the transit board members and transit board administrators APTA meeting. That's going to be July 30th, August 2nd. I just saw that not too long ago. I was looking through the things. So I apologize for such a late notice, but that might be something that some of you might want to attend. That agenda is back in there also. So you can take a look at it and see if that might be something that would interest any of you. We probably have to get you signed up and going pretty quick since it's only about a month away. Airline tickets are crazy right now. Which brings us to the next one, the Transform Conference in Seattle. If any of you wish to attend that, we probably are going to start making reservations and get going on that right away too. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know, or Desiree, and we can go on those two items. I also had Jason work on what was going to take place at the employee appreciation outing benefit dinner. I'm not quite sure what the correct terminology is on it. We keep kicking around different names for it, so. But anyway, that's included in there, what we're having for dinner. And then I thought we were going to have a schedule of events, but I don't see that yet. So we'll get that to you as soon as we know more. So I know dinner's at 5:30, 6:30.
5:30 starts the kind of meet and greet cocktail hour. 6:30 starts dinner.
And then what happens after that, I'm not sure. Yes, ma'am.
It always has been.
Yes, it is still a cash bar.
Oh, I've got so many comments, I better not say it.
Gotta get those priorities in there though.
I have another question. Who's David Lee?
David Lee is he ran Connecticut Transit for First Transit for many years, and he is like, he's retired now, but he's working on, the name escapes me now. One of the national committees that does training for transit, he's doing some of those now. Somebody help me out, Rutgers, what the heck's the name of it?
Yeah. TSI, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So he's doing some training in that, but he's gonna be our moderator at the retreat, so he has agreed to that. Jared won't be available, he'll be on vacation out of the country. David, I worked for him when I was in Massachusetts, and he's a great guy, and he just knows a lot about transit. So, and he's done a couple of these before. So I'm really excited about bringing him in, and you guys picking his brain. But that's the one thing that he said, that he wanted everybody to do your homework and what is your vision for CityLink. So that's going to be the big focus of that retreat. So what you guys see in the future for CityLink, which direction you want all of us to go. So I think it'll be a good retreat. So looking forward to it. Whether we have it 1 day or 2 days, we'll let you know as we get closer. But right now we're looking at 1 day. Anything else? Looks like Lance showed up.
You did? Yep,
So,
yep.
But I guess we got somebody else.
Thank you. Okay, new facility update. Beth?
We've had a lot going on last month. Just to wrap up phase A, we're working on their punch list items. Few things on the list still to go through. The control panel for Z booth, the panel itself is actually built, but we're still pending the breaker. It's supposed to be in this week. Once that's in and they get it connected, hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll have the owner training and close out, and we can get phase A completely done and fully operational for everybody. Phase B, C, and D, and E-Finch, they've obviously been removing tree removal, and parking lots are complete. Everyone's been doing good with parking up there. We did get our trailer moved and the fencing adjusted accordingly. Obviously, the 1978 building is down. E-Finch is working on foundation and slab removals. They're using that kind of filler work in between. They're working on the main gate excavation and getting that front gate area fully done and ready. Tobin is doing the tie-ins for the sewer and the water. We currently tentatively are hopefully have that back up and running on the 29th. And then the main gate will be back up July 15th. So that is our goal and where we've been pushing all the contractors to be ready for The budget, I'm going a little faster than my pictures here. Budget, no adjustments to the GMP, and we are currently 98% complete on the phase A. Again, that's wholeheartedly just because of the paint booth control panel. And then we are 15% construction currently for phase B and D. Questions or concerns, comments?
I have a question, but it's not particularly for you. Mr. Wambacher, what happened with the building that we were trying to get demolished?
We're still in litigation.
Okay, because I hadn't heard and didn't know where we were. Okay. How does that affect progress and what's being done?
So it is, we do need that house, yes.
Okay.
But it's not, the current design has us working around and we're doing other things.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
it is something that we will need sooner
Soon.
rather than
Then
later.
later. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions?
Okay.
Thanks, Beth. Okay, Transit General Manager, Lance.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm just coming in a short, brief description of what's going on with us so far. Right now, we've been, from last month, we've been hitting the 95% on-time performance that we normally would have. This month, we're starting out pretty good also, hitting around the 92, 93%. Today, hitting at 97%. We also were looking at the Washington area that we were actually setting that up. So we got that set up now in our system where we can actually start building the routes and start going forward with that. Right, we're waiting to see if we can get them to pinpoint the exact points on the map to show us exactly where the line, the border line is. So then that way we can cut off what we need to cut off at. It's short and brief. I don't have a whole lot, so anything else you want to ask, you can.
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
I was a little concerned about the 3 preventable accidents that I see here. Is that for the month of May?
Yes, yes, it is. So you have the, I believe the one incident that we have is actually a backing accident with a road supervisor. Was taking the vehicle to drop it off. As they were dropping off the vehicle, they would bag the vehicle up to line up so a passenger could go from one door to the other door and didn't see the object behind them. The other 2, pull it up real quick, give me a second. All right, the other 2 mailbox, one was a mailbox basically. Just typical. We're going to cul-de-sacs. We're going to a lot of cul-de-sacs, whatever we're backing in. Then another one was a long driveway that we were actually going into. We're backing out of that situation and coming out of there and actually hitting another mailbox. And we're paying for both of those mailboxes.
What kind of corrective action do you have in place for those drivers?
I actually utilized something that I used in the school district. I transferred over using a mirror station. Because basically what I saw was they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at what's going on around them. They're just doing a quick glance. And I've been telling my road supervisors, when you get on the vehicle, when you get to the scene, get on the vehicle, sit in the driver's seat for that specific second. That way you could get an idea of where the mirrors are set before they decide to set them or whatever, right? And then once they do that, then you can get an idea of how you need to be set. And I've been telling them to adjust them about 1 inch off of the vehicle, and the rest of it is the roadway. So we got a pretty nice mirror station going on right now, and it's mobile.
Okay.
Carry it with us.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
We good? Nope. Thanks, Lance.
Thank you.
All right, any public comments?
No public comments.
No public
Chair
comments.
Earhart, paper.
Any old business? None being heard. Okay. New business. Public hearing for the budget and appropriation ordinance for the 12-month fiscal year ending June 2023. Christine.
We have
have posted 30-day public notice to the period general staff for the our fiscal year 2023 as our budget for the public to make a comment. So right now, we're going to open the public meeting, public hearing. Is there anybody, any question, any comment on the audience? Any comment?
I'm not sure. Are you asking for our questions as a, not the board, but
No,
Out.
for our, right now it's for the public hearing.
it's for the public, not for us?
Yeah, not
Okay,
for you.
just want to
Yeah.
clarify.
So
Okay,
we
all
want to
right.
ask for any comment from the
Gotcha.
public.
Okay.
So including the virtual and including the audience. Here now, we're gonna close our public hearing. Next one will be our budget presentation. Before we ask for to vote to approve our fiscal year proposed budget, Steph gonna make a presentation. I'm going to handle the operating side and However not gonna handle the capital budget. All right, let's start. All right, this year the budget we propose is the largest budget of the our operating and capital in our district has ever proposed to the board to approve. The main reason is operating budget this year, we increased 10% from the last year of 35 million to this year 38.5. I will explain a little bit more detail in the later. Capital project budget is because majority is our construction. Our construction project is a main key. The reason why we have a big overall budget in here. And we have all the funding, we get it, majority from our state, Illinois Department of Transportation. They have either in the operating side or capital side, they have a tremendous assistance to us. And also FTA, Federal Transit Administration, they kind of support us, have some kind of $4 million grant. And we actually very aggressive. We kind of apply a lot of discretion grant to support all the additional funding we need. And of course, we have some kind of funding support from our local Peoria County for the local taxpayer to support portion of that. And we want to thank you, our board always as a big support to us. This is our current board member. We have a new picture over here, and this is our current org chart, and we didn't change it that much currently. This is our vision we mentioned about in the past. We pursue excellence, innovation, respect, safety, accountability. And our GPM plans, we try to maximize any kind of value we provide. We want to provide to our customer and also our taxpayer. We hope, our capital project, can complete on schedule and make sure our funding, ongoing for the ongoing operation and also the capital project remains stable. And we also identify some funding to support any kind of program. We want to make sure, our rider, continue to enjoy our bus clean and also reliable. We also identify our opportunity, into our service or also any kind of service expansion. This is our financial goal. We try to maximize, we try to project our any kind of expense or capital expenditure as accurate as possible to maximize, our taxpayers' money. Our financial goal, we try to have under the balanced budget, and we want to safeguard our resource, provide a kind of accurate and timely description for the required financial report. Our district financial strengths, we have very solid financial. Right now, we have very good result in our financial balance. and we didn't borrow any kind of money, we didn't issue the bond, so, and also the most important thing is we didn't see any kind of fraud. We don't have any kind of evidence for any kind of mismanagement at this moment. And for the record, we have a really good record of the clean audit, meaning we had a external auditor come here to audit us. The report is clean, meaning there's no opinion negative about that. So that's very good for our district. This one is our ridership report. If you look at the last 2 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, it seems like we're going down. The highest year we have is $3.4 million, 3.4 million ridership, and compared with the current year, 2022, it almost decreased 50%. Majority is because COVID-19 is kind of pandemic. And because of this trend going down, decreased so much, it impact for our cost per hour, and also cost per passenger, cost per mile. Because our ridership go down, so the cost is still going up. So you can tell from the 2020 cost per passenger is about $10. Right now it's $17. That's the main reason why we have a decreased ridership. However, the operating costs still increase. This is a percentage. This chart, this type mention about our labor cost is 28% of our proposed. 28% of our proposed budget, and the fringe benefits still the main big one. It's a number one, 30%. Service cost 22%, which including we outsource a lot of we purchase the paratransit through the Transdeck, and we have a lot of we outsource the IT function, management service, legal service. That's for the service cost. Material supplies, fuel, and also the vehicle, the parts to repair. That's 13.5%. Miscellaneous, including the travel, business meeting, and a lot of promotion program is under the miscellaneous. And casualty and liability is 2.4%. It's for more our property insurance, vehicle insurance under this category. And of course, every year we budget 1% for the contingency, just in case something happens. This is a comparison with last year. We increased labor costs because 6.26%. Majority is from the increase of our uni contract. For the next year, it's a 3.35% increase. And also we anticipate, with this kind of construction, maybe have some kind of overtime, it's hard to predict. So we budget a little bit higher. Fringe benefit, again, with the cost, the insurance is so expensive. Right now we budget increase 10.87%. Service costs, we, again, it's because of the construction, we have a lot of professional costs associated with that as well. Material supplies, the majority is the fuel cost, because the fuel cost right now, the diesel and also gasoline, the costs increase huge. We try to control, and the only one item we, Doug and I try to cut a little bit is our business meeting and also travel. We cut a little bit. So that's why we decrease 5.64%. The casualty and liability is the main reason. We have a car accident several years ago. Right now, try to hit us. This year, our total overall from the allocate from the risk pool is a little bit higher. So it increased 23%. Contingency, because overall our budgets increased 10%. That's also 10%. So this is kind of just a chart so that you know how much different for that. And I just explained to you regarding this different for our factor impact our operating revenue and expense. The key point for the 2023 budget we don't have any kind of deficit for, right now we see that, and we don't plan to change any kind of fare because, still remain the same. The large cost, to deliver service, salary, benefit, and material, these are always the three major category, in our operating expense. Okay. And this is kind of trend in the past 8 years. 2016, we have $27.5 million. Right now, 8 years later, our overall operating expense, we project for the 2023 will be 38.5. This is kind of a graph to that you see, for the red one and the green one is a major part for our operating expense. One is salary, one is the benefit. It's always the two of them. All right, I'm gonna hand over to Doug to talk about our capital project. As proposed.
Sorry, guys. As expected, the building is our big capital project for this year, probably next year too. I think the completion date the other day was November, December 23.
December 2023.
Yeah. So anyway, but the good news is that even with our estimated cost of 43.235, whatever she comes up with these days, we have all of the funding for that, except for maybe 3 to 5 million, maybe, which used to scare me, but anymore, that's not a really big number. And we have enough money in our 5307 that we could cover it if we had to. We do have a couple of earmarks out there for this year and some other asks. We've got another round of rebuild if we see something that we really need money for. So I'm really happy with where we're at on this project. So, but there's all your funding sources and our estimated costs for each different category. One of our other, this is under Rebuild One grant, is maintenance equipment. There's a couple other things besides jack stand and hoist. What do you call that? The DPF?
Yeah, it's a diesel particulate filter cleaning machine.
Yeah.
We need one of those pretty bad. There's some other things too we need, since we're expanding our overall footprint. We're gonna get bigger scrubbers and whatnot to clean our floors. So we need, those are not cheap, so that's in there too.
So that'll be out of that 265,000 estimated cost. Some other things that we're looking at is the transit app or fare box recovery project. The issue with our fare boxes is they're outdated. They no longer build them. And we're trying to find a solution for how we're gonna, if we collect fares, continue to collect fares, how we're gonna go about that. So we're working on that project. And then also we have the Quantum wheelchair securements. These are in the electric buses. And if you haven't seen one of these, you'll really need to check it out. It's a hands-free mechanism that when the person comes in, they back into the Quantum and then it presses against them. So the operator doesn't have to get on their hands and knees. And it's a 4-point strap now in all the other buses. And it can get kind of intrusive with the passenger as well. And so they're already in the electric buses. We're going to put them in the new flyers. And then as our fleet is replaced, we will be having these as our new wheelchair securement devices. We really didn't want to put them in all the old buses. We talked about it, but we just have to take them out. We thought it'd be better to go this route. Paratransit vehicles are all going to get camera systems in them. That is all part of Rebuild One. I believe, has the procurement gone out yet? Or
IDOT has verbally approved it, but we haven't received the official concurrence.
We found out we have to wait for written approval from IDOT. So that's how it sometimes takes a while. So that one's getting close to being out on the street then. We also are gonna get 12 support vehicles under rebuild one. This is anywhere from minivans to a little bigger buses to SUVs. So we gotta replace some of those. Jason's driving simulator, that'll be in the new training facility. So we're gonna get 4 of those for $2 million. And that's also part of rebuild one. I'm gonna put a roof on this building for $500,000, part of the rebuild one. We've got some new buses in the mix for 2.5. That kind of depends on whether we go electric, battery electric, or diesel. And then we're also looking at some bus shelters and pads and benches replacement out on the stops. That's $120,000. We've actually got about $60,000 of some old money we gotta use up too on that project. And that takes us through the capital.
All right, thank you.
I got, sorry. On your capital development, the last one you did, where the money you said your funding source is proposed, you did give me 60,000 that you said was, that you had to use up for the bus shelters. Where were you planning on getting the 25 from for that?
That's gonna be out of 5339 bus program that we get money annually on that. There might be some 5307 with that as well.
Okay.
We actually have applied for a low-no grant for some of that, and depending on how that goes, whether we need these other funds or not. So.
Thank you.
And the bus shelters, that's gonna be a 5310 program from Tri-County for that 60,000. So.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Last single page, we rely on some of the funding from the Peoria County. That's we call the tax levy, and we calculate some kind of mill rate based on whatever we have. How much we go to next month? I'm going to propose our district tax levy. This is just for the calculation ahead of time so that you know how much we're going to levy and what the mill rate will be. Based on the calculation, we propose this coming year, our mill rate will be 9.71%. So meaning, 9.71 cents per $100 assessed value for the levy for the Peoria County area. And our maximum allowable this kind of rate is 15 cents. So the next one kind of that you see about that, we kind of try to control our local taxpayers' money to contribute with our operation. This is a comparison summary with our source and use for our fund. Our source, come from our local operating revenue, such as, we have a passenger fare, we sell our bus pass, and we have a contract with East Peoria, Pekin, Peoria County, provide service for them, and they pay us some kind of contract amount. And we also collect some kind of replacement tax, advertising, we sell advertising, miscellaneous revenue. So that's $2.8 million from the local operating revenue. And of course, from the federal fund, we have $4.7 million, either from the, COVID pandemic, CRISA, American Rescue Fund, or capital maintenance grant, and other 5307 as well. And then come to the bottom, the third one is our levy, our tax levy, for the about $6 million. And the state, always have a big support with our operating source because they provide us 65%, every $100 our operating expense, they provide reimburse us 65%. And then the bottom portion, we're talking about the capital. Capital this year, we can tell, state provide a huge assistance, out of almost $15 million, state provide us $31.5 million. So state, kind of provide us a lot of funding for capital project this year. And how we use the top portion, we use in the 7 major category. We use for the wage, salary, benefits, service, material, liability, miscellaneous, and contingency. And the bottom one is the documentation about the capital project. So we balance our budget this year. This is just the pie, the chart to the same information I just mentioned. With that, staff recommend board approve our fiscal year 2023. Yes?
Good.
My only concern,
Okay.
and this is because my background is corporate, is that when you did your projected operating expenses, the only place that you decreased was in like the business meetings and the travel. My concern for that is that's always the place that money is always cut. And I question that because it is putting the needs of your staff and administrative people at a lower level of what they need. I just need to make sure, and a perfect example is the fact that we have these seminars and things that are coming up, that there's enough money that we can let our administrative people attend the conferences and things and meetings and seminars that they need so they can be proficient in their jobs. So is this almost 6% decrease going to affect that ability?
I
I
don't.
kind of add too, I'm sorry to let you talk.
Okay.
Because has that decreased also over the last couple of years, even if you had that budget in place, given COVID, have you had a lot of people that have missed those training opportunities as well? So to Patty's point.
Okay. Thank you for both of your question. To answer your question is because we in the past, the previous year, we before the COVID-19, we always project a little bit higher than we should. So we didn't use that much. So this year we kind of know about, compared with last year. So, but the answer to you is we are not going to impact. We send people to any kind of business meeting or training, whatever. We still have a sufficient enough dollar amount. If the 6% is just like a lot, but with that kind of dollar amount, it just impact a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
I have another question from earlier. When you're giving your breakdowns for operating revenues, expenses, you gave the various categories.
Yes.
Under materials and supplies, most of the examples you talked about, they're all about fuel, bus parts, things like that. Does that include all materials and supplies for administrative things, IT needs?
Yes.
It's everything, not
Yes,
just
everything.
stuff for maintenance.
And just the majority is about the fuel and the vehicle parts. But
Okay.
it's still including, a lot of, materials such as office supplies and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Other questions? Contingencies allowance, if that's not used, is that rollover or is that, how does that work?
Contingency, we kind of reserve 1%. It's kind of like more like set aside the money over there. However, if we don't use, we don't have an expense, then they will put back to, I would say that whatever the available funding over there, we will put to the reserve. However, because like I mentioned to you, state reimburse our 65%. So if we don't use the contingency, meaning we decrease, we don't get as much as money from the state because we didn't use.
I don't think we've used the contingencies since I've been here.
Yeah.
Maybe 5,000 or 10,000 out of it. So
Yeah.
we've never had to dip into it.
No.
So far.
So far, so lucky we don't use that.
Sharon, any questions?
Sure. Okay.
And this isn't really necessarily budget related, but when I was looking at this and going through our website and stuff, as a federal agency, aren't we supposed to have the salaries of our employees listed somewhere publicly? Is that not public information?
It's a public
And I
information.
couldn't find it.
According 96, it's posted on our hallway. So
Okay,
according that, by the end of the fiscal year, I think June 30, I have 5 business days to prepare that.
okay,
So July, you will get a list
gotcha, okay,
with our salary, including their benefit.
okay,
So they, according I think it's 96-0907,
Okay.
if I remember that well.
okay, that's fine. I
Okay.
just, I know we had talked about the contract and the percentage, but I haven't seen a document that actually showed me
Yes.
by title and occupation. Right,
By name, title, your total compensation,
yeah,
how
that's what I
many
was,
vacation you earn,
right,
that information.
Okay.
July, I think the July board meeting will be what day? July 11, you will
Okay.
see it.
All right.
You will receive it. And also we post it in the maintenance break room, TC, and also Emmons hallway.
okay, okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
Okay, if not, please, staff recommend board approve fiscal year 2023 budget orders.
Can I get a motion to approve ordinance 2301, budget appropriation ordinance for 12-month fiscal year?
So moved. Second. Oh,
Okay. We need a roll call on that.
yeah.
Trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee Knox,
Approved.
trustee McBride approves.
All right, thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Next item, resolution 2239, award recommendation, social media advertising services to Central States Media with a monthly management fee of 20% of the media budget for 3-year contract beginning July 1st, 2022 with 2-year options. And Emily's like, yeah.
Good evening. GPMTD recently issued an RFP for social media management, advertising management services. And to give you a little bit better idea of what this entails, we have several social media channels, but especially utilize our Facebook page to get information out to our passengers and the public. We found this to be a very powerful tool, especially during COVID, trying to get information out when we were having to make changes really rapidly. It also was very powerful when we just made the schedule and route changes. We were able to get that information out to people, answer questions. We got a lot of questions, because we were making a lot of major changes. And so we have decided that it would be in our best interest to do more paid advertising through those channels to get the word out. And so we did the RFP and we received 3 proposals that were deemed responsive and responsible. And then there was an ad hoc committee that conducted an evaluation of all 3 proposals. And the proposal that was submitted by Central States Media was considered best to meet the evaluated criteria and set forth for the RFP. And so we are recommending that the Board of Trustees award the contract to Central States Media for the social media advertising management services with a monthly management fee of 20% for 3 years with 2 option years. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
And that's, that's a different fee, obviously, than what would be associated with anything else that's related to the websites or website. So is there
Right.
anything to leverage between the social media, or what you've already obviously done the study and the RFP? So is there anything to leverage price-wise by whoever maintains websites to also do the social media?
I don't know if I would necessarily, whenever we do any paid advertising on our Facebook page, we link out to our website because we usually have a landing page on there that's going to provide more information depending on what we're promoting. So for instance, we're going to be probably doing some paid advertising for the ADA event. And so we've already created a landing page on our website that's going to have that information on there. So whenever somebody clicks, if they want to click out to see more information, it'll go to our website. But Central States Media is our current website developer, and they have been maintaining our website for quite some time. Any other questions?
Okay, hearing none. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2239?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second. And a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ahart,
Approve.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee Knox,
Approved.
trustee McBride approves. Motion passes.
Thank you.
you.
Well, before Emily sits down, I want to congratulate her on the, I can't even think of the name of it.
Adwheel Award, yes. We just got notification that we won an Adwheel Award for the electric bus unveiling video that we did last year. And so I don't have the award yet, but we should be getting that in the mail, and then it will be submitted on further to possibly win a grand award, which would be presented at the Transform Conference in Seattle. So I'll keep you posted if we do get any further, and I'll make sure when we get the actual certificate, you guys have a chance to see it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, resolution 22-40, contract renewal recommendation for employee major medical, which includes specific reinsurance and aggregate reinsurance of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Shannon.
Good evening. So as is in your staff summary there, we are recommending that we do our renewal of our major medical with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We are currently with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, and we are broker who Rick Simonis is here tonight, and so he's going to be here to answer any questions that you might have concerning our insurance and the cost of it. But he's with First Mid Insurance, and we're currently under contract with them, and they have gone out and looked at other rates and have come back with the fact that Blue Cross Blue Shield is still the best rate for us. And so we are recommending, well, if we go down to the financial impact, this is a 13% increase over last year, which is a pretty significant increase, probably one of the bigger ones that we've had since I've been here. But nonetheless, I think that is due to several high claimants, and Rick can maybe answer some more specific questions if you have some questions at the end. But you'll see the costs there have gone up for employee only, employee plus one, and family, and that's how we break those out. So we are recommending, based on our broker, First Mid Insurance Group, their recommendation, that we renew our major medical with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. It will run from July 1st of 22 to June 30th of 23.
So that 13% increase, you're saying that's all based upon, overhead related costs. Is there any additional benefits that are passing on to the employees based on that 13%?
No, benefits are exactly the same. Your benefits are very, very good too, I might add. They're past the platinum level. They're really, really good. So they drive the cost. Got it. As well.
May I have a list at some point that really defines, I hear what those benefits are, and I'm overwhelmed when I hear them in bits and pieces. So if I could have like a written thing of what those benefits really are, just for my own personal information. So
We can give you a benefit summary page.
that would be great. That'd be great.
A quick rundown is it's a 90/10. We have a $200 per person deductible, a $1,200 maximum out of pocket per person. Pretty much after that,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll get you
Past
that.
platinum.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, motion to accept resolution 22-40. And a second.
And second.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Polk,
Approved.
trustee Knox,
Approved.
trustee McBride approves.
And if I could just give one more quick update on our Activate Health clinic or center that we are involved with since back in the January board meeting is when that was approved for us to start providing that benefit to our employees. And I just kind of wanted to give a quick update. And we had our very first kind of like a quarterly update on that. And to date, we've had about 34 employees go and visit, meaning we've given away some $150 gift cards for each one of those employees that went and did a health assessment. They've had a total of 68 appointments from just our employees. So that's been good. A participation rate of 11%, and they said that that was where we should be for this time, even though that sounds like it's not very high. Having only been involved for February, March, April, and May, they said that that is exactly where we should be. So that was good news to hear. When an employee goes, or even a family member, they give you a survey that you can fill out at the end. And based on these are just our employees, based on our employee surveys, they have gotten, Everside Health has gotten a patient satisfaction rating of 88, and they consider that excellent. And so we've been able to see the specific comments that our employees will leave, and all of them have really been pretty positive, either no comment or they've been positive. And so I just wanted to kind of report back to that, as well as give you one of the examples and one of the success stories that the doctor there, Dr. Demel, had given us when we met. He said that there was one of our employees that had gone in, and I think he had high blood pressure and high cholesterol, if I'm remembering correctly. And of course, the doctors always give the very first defense as your diet and exercise. And so he said, so you can try that, or you can go home, or we can send you home with some medication. And so our employee elected to do diet and exercise. And he came back, I don't know if it was 2 months later or a month later. Anyway, he had lost 30 pounds. So this is helping. So while we see that 13% increase, at least we've got some good news, and we're hoping that the use of this health center will help combat some of those high claimant costs, and that will be a positive for years to come.
It will, and I can get them.
Shannon, where's the office? You're good. Where's the office located they go to?
Oh, it is in the Levy District in East Peoria, kind of behind Chick-fil-A. I don't know the technical name of that.
Yeah, I know it's general area name.
It's actually on Main Street, is their address, but it's right across from the fire department.
Good, thank you. Okay, next, resolution 22-41, adoption and approval of GPMTD Transit District FY 2022 Employee Recognition Program.
You said it all. There it is. So, due to the upcoming awards banquet, we decided we should have a resolution from the board approving what we're doing. So this is what it is. So there's a little more detail back there if you need it, but that's the nuts and bolts of it.
Questions? Can I get a motion to approve 2241?
So moved.
Second.
And a second, perfect. Roll call?
You're working. Trustee Ahart.
Approved.
Trustee Hare.
Approved.
Trustee Full.
Approved.
Trustee Knox.
Approved.
Trustee McBride approves.
Motion passed. All right. And the financial report for May 2022. Christine?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the May 2022 financial activity. Actually, it's almost the last month for our operating expense. This month seems like a little bit lower. However, it's the timing of the how payment with some of the projects such as the river city payment, and also paratransit, the one we get paid on time before the due May 31st. But the actual expense is already there. When come to the end of the year, when we do the accrual expense, it will catch up. So With that, as normal, we are operating expense for the main majors from the payroll benefit and also the health insurance benefit. Also, this month I added fuel costs because we know the fuel right now almost double with our normal expense right now. So a big portion of that we pay this month in the fuel. Therefore, staff recommend board approve May 2022 with a dollar amount $1,949,293.24.
Can I get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
And a second? Okay. One more.
I've gotten them all right so
You
far.
have, yeah.
You have, I'm proud of you.
I
I
had a
am proud of
list
you.
of-
Oh,
Trustee Ahart,
Approved.
trustee Hare,
Approved.
trustee Paul,
approved.
trustee Knott,
Approved.
trustee McBride approves.
Motion passed. Next meeting is Monday, July 11th, at 5:30 right here. Any other issues or questions? Hearing none. Sharon,
Motion to.
we're adjourned. at